Hello YouTube. So Saturday morning. Last week I didn't do much because I was sick, but hope to get more done today. So I bought a big fan, a big Fiamma 4040, or whatever. Big Fiamma 40 turbo vent, I think it's called. And I'm going to put that in the place where the rust is from where the old vent was. Hang on, just getting out of the door. And I've been waiting for a while because the weather has just not been good today. Very nice morning. I don't know if it's going to last, so while it's before 9, I'm going to try and make the most of it. So today's the day where I try and cut a hole in the roof. So it's been raining all week and it's actually dry in here by the looks, so that's good. The chairs were from an experiment Jenny and I were doing to make sure that the seating we've got planned out, which will be here and opposite, whether if they're too close together now, knees are going to bang. It seems fine. Seems fine, so that's good. Yeah, so hopefully getting rid of this mess today. Now the big question is, can I cut around it? Or do I have to remove it first because it's going to get in the way of the guide for the jigsaw? That is the big question. We'll have to see. I can't see till I get up there, I don't think. Okay, cool. Well, I've made a guide. Here's one I made earlier. I've checked that this, as a template, the vent fits through it okay, and it's a good, nice tight fit. So that's all good, so I'm going to do that. And draw around it. I'm going to see if I have to remove all the old nonsense from the top here, or whether I can just cut clear around it because the vent's quite a bit bigger. Let's find out. Speak to you in a bit. So the weather's really taken a turn. I don't know what happened, it was beautiful about 5 minutes ago. And it definitely looks like it's going to rain. I'm not sure I want to be halfway through cutting when it starts to rain, but I've now got holes in the roof. Big holes. Big holes. So I just go for it and just hope that hope it doesn't rain before I get done. I want to get electrocuted. Anyway, I'm not going to film this bit because it's quite windy and the camera keeps blowing over. So yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side, let you know how it turned out. Goodbye. So yeah, it's raining. So much for the weather forecast. Thanks for that, Alexa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to B&Q and I'm going to try and get some ducting for the cabling because I've got all the cabling worked out now. Maybe I'll do a little cut in and talk about that here with some screenshots. So yeah, maybe I'll get a coffee. We'll see. Speak to you later. Right. Well, the sun has come out again. It's bloody windy, so anyway, I've been on the roof and cut out the big mess that was the original fan vent, and hopefully I've done a good enough job that the vent is the new one's gonna just drop in. So I'm hoping to get up there and mastic it today while it's still dry. Just wanted to give a shout out to the guys from Live Life in a Box, because I've stolen their idea of taping a bin bag to the ceiling to catch all the bits so it doesn't just fall straight on the floor. So thanks very much. Also, I've stolen their idea of using hose pipe instead of conduit. It was about half the price, and although it's under half, well, just over half the thickness of the conduit, I think the curve on it is going to be better, and I can run it all the way around rather than do it in sections. So yeah, I'll see how that goes. Right, catch up later. Good morning everybody. Welcome to a wet and windy Sunday. Thankfully the roof that I fitted here, the roof end, I still need to put the wood around it to support the trim. Seems to be watertight, and that's without the screw covers. So I'm quite pleased about that because it's been horribly and rainy all night. So yeah, good. I'm starting to attack the wiring now before we do the insulation, and it's quite a big job. Just trying to figure out where the original wiring went. Each light and fitting in the back of the van had a plug like this, so this would have led to a light, and you can see that each live and each earth was kind of daisy chained from it, and that's the case for every single fitting here. Now this might explain why my compressor doesn't work for my air suspension, so I'm hoping that I can find the live from the air suspension and reconnect it and see if that fixes the problem. Anyway, I'm running a bit low on battery on my camera, which was my fault for not charging last night, so sorry if there's not much footage from today. I'll just give regular updates, and there we go. Hi everybody. So sorry there's not been much filming the last 2 weekends actually, but I thought I'd just give you a roundup of the weekend's activity. So the main thing achieved this weekend was the placement of the new fan vent. It's a Fiamma Turbo Vent 40 for anyone that's interested, and apologies for my face being half hidden by this microphone. Yeah, that seems to have all gone well. I placed that in the roof after cutting it out with a jigsaw, and it seems to be watertight because we've had awful weather the rest of the weekend. And the rest of the time I've spent just taking all the cabling out for the ambulance systems in the back of the van, which was a lot more work than I thought it would be. But good news is I actually solved the problem with the compressor, so the air suspension now reinflates itself, which is nice, and I only electrocuted myself once, so that's good, and I didn't die, so I guess it wasn't electrocution, it was just electric shock. Yeah, but now I've safetied all of that and tidied all the cabling up, and I'm ready to install the cabling. I've bought a load of wood for battening, which will be the next step. So I just thought while I was here I'd just talk you through the wiring schematic I've got, mainly as just a second opinion from you guys really about whether you think it's going to work okay. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Yeah, so let's have a look over here. What we've got, sorry about the really naffly laid out PowerPoint presentation that I've done to try and describe what this is. Each of these circles is basically a LED roof light. These three here, I'm hoping that my mouse is actually captured on camera, will be on one circuit, which will be controlled by a switch from the door here. I'm hoping to wire up a double switch situation so I can turn them off from the main cabin as well, but I'm not sure how that'll work yet. So anyway, main switch here by the door for the lights. These two, which I'm calling the office lights because they're going to be above the table, they'll be on a separate switch. And then the one in this area here, which will eventually become a shower in like the version 2 build, but will be the wardrobe and toilet for now. I thought it'd be better just to have a separate light for that, so it'll be controlled by a switch on the outside. The main hub of the electronics will be down here, so this is where I have the batteries and the circuit board and the inverter and all those kinds of magical things. Each one of these yellow plaques here is a 230 volt mains connection, so each of these thick blue lines is a mains power. This black bar here is just temporarily where I think the TV is going to go. That's that. This is our fan in the middle and our fridge here, and then these two red bars are the undercupboard lighting LEDs, which are going to be mainly for mood lighting, as well as some LEDs which will be somewhere above the bed, I think. This here will be a heater. I thought it was going to be the electric heater that's in the van. It turns out not to be an electric heater, but run off the hot water system from the car, so I'm just going to completely bypass that because it's no good having the engine running at night while we're trying to sleep, obviously. So this will be some kind of heater. I'm hoping for a diesel heater. I'll figure it out, but anyway, I'll run the cables for it now. And yeah, this here I put in was just for the future for the shower. I'll just have some cables that are made ready for that. And USB charging points, so these little black bits here, and there'll be USB charging points on each of the plug sockets as well. And I think that's about it. So although the wiring looks confusing, I'm going to have the major routes across the top of the van, each of the supports on the roof that go either side of the vent, and yeah, it should all make sense. I've measured it all out, I bought my cable, so that'll be the next time I do it. Now, it's not going to be next weekend. I'm going to be away for the next 2 weekends. I've got to go to the US for work, so apologies for the lack of video in the next 2 weekends, and I hope to update you when I get back. So, speak to you later. Bye!